Coming in at number 11, Cradle to the Grave. This music video for Cradle to the Grave was directed by Ricky Harris in 1994. The members of Thug Life, which consists of Tupac, Mopreme, Big Psych, Macadocious, and Rated R, are featured in this video. I love old school music videos that take place in the hood. They look raw and authentic. In this video, the members of Thug Life are doing time in jail. Each of them take turns sharing stories about living in the hood as we see flashbacks of their lives. Tupac comes in with the first verse after the intro, and I love it. June 16, 1971, Mama gave birth to a hell-raising heavenly son. See, the doctor tried to smack me, but I smacked him back. My first words were Thug for life and Papa pass the Mac. In this video, the jailhouse uniform was a blue shirt and Pac wore his signature bandana. This music video shows us prison life. What goes on in prison? The men have to do cheap labor. They work out, they eat 3 meals a day, they fight, they read, and they have no control over their lives. They are told what to do, when to eat, what to wear, when to sleep, and they are conditioned to answer to a prison number sewn on their uniform shirt. The penal system is a billion-dollar business, and black men usually end up in jail. There are some that get caught doing crimes just like any other ethnic group. Usually the prison time for black men is a tougher sentence. Then there are black men that are put in jail because they are falsely accused of a crime that they did not commit. Tupac had to do prison time in real life. Tupac was set up on a rape charge. He did not rape Ayanna Jackson. The elites put Tupac in jail for other sinister reasons. I will discuss the reason why Tupac was put in jail in a minute. Excuse me. For the record, Tupac shared with me from the spirit realm that he was tired. Tupac was a highly sensitive person, and he was very hurt about the rape charge. Tupac revealed to me that while in jail, he began to realize that his life was not his own, and he wanted out. Tupac was tired of living, and he asked the Heavenly Father if he could cross over to become a martyr. Before Tupac was released from jail, the Heavenly Father came to him and told him to get ready. Tupac woke me out of my sleep and shared this with me. I was shocked. I was like, wow. This news was so painful to hear. All I could do was cry about it. So what did Tupac do while in jail? Tupac read the books of Exodus, Ecclesiastes, and Revelation from the Holy Bible. Did you know that on October 8th, 2016, Tupac's Bible that he read in prison was being sold for $54,000. It's the Life Recovery Bible. It has his signature with his stage name Tupac Shakur and his Department of Corrections number 95A1140 written with a red marker. Tupac wrote the screenplay Live to Tell. He used the Master Screenwriter's Workbook by Sid Field. Tupac read the book No Disrespect by Sister Souljah. Tupac read the book The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Tupac adopted his second stage name, Machiavelli, from this author. Tupac read books by William Shakespeare. Tupac read the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Tupac read the book And Still I Rise by Maya Angelou, Linda Sunshine, and Diego Rivera. Tupac read Mail from Family, Friends, and Fans. Tupac got married while in jail to Miss Keisha Morris on April 29, 1995. April 29th is a very significant date. The Rodney King riots were on April 29, 1992. Tupac was involved in some of the looting during the riots. Tupac wrote letters to family, friends, and fans. Tupac listened to music. One of the songs he would play over and over is The Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Tupac also had visitors in jail. Miss Afeni Shakur, his godbrother Yaki Gaddafi, Jasmine Guy, Al Sharpton, and many others came to visit Pac in jail. I also read in Sister to Sister magazine that two ladies from Chicago drove down to see Tupac. Chi-town! Visitation rights came at a price for Tupac. These evildoers found another way to torture him. Every time Tupac would have a visitor, they would perform cavity searches on him. They wanted to make sure Tupac wasn't bringing in any illegal drugs and so forth. Yeah, right. Tupac also befriended men while in jail. In the movie companion book, Tupac Resurrection, he speaks about an Italian guy named Soto cooking for him. So you know Tupac was eating good. Soto would make Tupac rigatoni, spaghetti and meatballs, and other Italian dishes. Hats off to Mr. Soto. Mwah. Unfortunately, Tupac was traumatized to the hilt in prison. This is directly connected to MK Ultra mind control programming. Some witch bitch named Nina Castleberry was harassing Pac in a serious way. J-Mix Jezer Sarat Productions published Tupac Shakur's prison complaint letter on YouTube on October 3rd, 2017. Tupac writes an intelligent letter to get one of the prison wardens to address the issue with the evil Miss Nina Castleberry. This chick reminds me of the character Nurse Ratched from the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It stars the amazing actor Mr. Jack Nicholson. It's a very disturbing film. I've watched it many times. The complaint letter was handwritten. Tupac addresses the issue of correctional officer Castleberry verbally abusing and harassing him. She continued to call Tupac a rapist even when he was falsely accused of this crime. This bitch would call Tupac a rapist to his face. She would also spread false information and rumors about Tupac. Nina spoke openly about hating Tupac, and she told Tupac that she would make his stay in jail a living hell. She would ignore Tupac's request for basic necessities such as lights, forks, medical attention, phone time, and a host of other things. She also put fear in the other inmates from talking with Tupac. Hats off to Mr. Jesse for publishing Tupac's prison complaint letter on YouTube. Thank you. Mwah. Now it's time to expose this bitch. You know I always keep it raw and real. I'm going to share the esoteric reason why Miss Castleberry was bought in to traumatize Tupac. What does esoteric mean? Esoteric is intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. The elites or the powers that should not be, or the 1% bankers that take orders from Lucifer in secret, have esoteric knowledge, and they keep it away from us, and they use it against us. We all know that knowledge is power. It is more powerful than dirty paper or prestige. The Heavenly Father has appointed me and my partner Chris to be spiritual practitioners. We have a spiritual gift where we can pray over a person's name and tap into the spirit realm and discover esoteric knowledge. The Heavenly Father, along with Tupac, Aaliyah, Biggie Smalls, and Left Eye, will reveal important information to us and tell us what we need to know. Who is this Nina Castleberry? I prayed over Tupac's name along with her name, Nina Castleberry. I also prayed over her name, Nina Castleberry, alone. And this is what the spirit realm revealed to me. For the record, jail is a dangerous, heinous, and sick place for anyone because they can experiment on you and pretty much do whatever they want to you. You become human property. We found out that Miss Castleberry is a black woman. This was very important information to find out because of how the elites get down. The elites almost always use people that look like you to do their dirty work. Tupac is black and Miss Castleberry is black. When Tupac was alive in the physical realm, this is what confused him the most. Tupac did not understand why people that looked like him could harm him and hurt him. Tupac had to learn the hard way that just because a person is your color doesn't mean that they are your kind. For the record, black people seem like they will sell out their own in a New York second. The elites love to pay black people to do their dirty deeds against other black people. This keeps the hidden hands out of the equation as they stir up the pot from afar. I'm very careful with who I associate with. Me and my spiritual partner Chris pray over people's names to see if they are cool. I don't have the time to deal with anyone fucking up my shit. Most people are walking around with demons on them, and I don't need that in my life. I put up with nonsense when I was younger. I am mature now, so I am very cautious. Time is too short for craziness. The information regarding Miss Castleberry is crazy in our world, but not crazy in their world. Miss Castleberry is an Eastern Star member. She is a Satanist and top Kabbalah witch. Castleberry is an alchemist. What is an alchemist? An alchemist is a chemist that combines science with black magic. Basically, she is on some Aleister Crowley shit. Castleberry practices cannibalism. This means that she practices eating the flesh or internal organs of other human beings. She fits right into the Illuminati family. Castleberry is a programmer. She programs young kids under the MK Ultra mind control program. This would include trauma, torture, and satanic ritual abuse. Castleberry is an evil pediatrician. This is where she was experimenting on black babies for the elites. She tries to steal genes to control procreation. Castleberry is licensed to do evil. This basically means that she could get away with killing kids. This is some of the heinous stuff that people who work for the elites get away with in secret. It happens more often than you think. Now it's time for me to tell you what Nina Castleberry did with Tupac while he was in jail. For the record, Miss Castleberry was brought in by the elites just to torture and traumatize Tupac. Castleberry had sex with Pac. She was also stealing his sperm and genes. This psychopath was also stealing Pac's genes because the elites wanted to make Tupac into a clone. This mad woman's attempt to help the elites clone Tupac was a failure. This was one of the main reasons why Miss Nina Castleberry hated Tupac and abused him constantly in jail. For the record, listen, evildoers, you cannot clone a high-ranking angel. Tupac is a high-ranking angel blessed by God. Tupac is off limits. The elites want our black genes, ladies and gents. This is what this is mainly about. The elites know that black genes are the God genes. They also want to harness our genes for themselves. I know this information may go over some people's heads, but I will continue to share what I am privy to in the spirit realm. This whole bitch, Nina Castleberry, is evil as fuck. Now I will talk about why Tupac was put in jail. I already mentioned that Tupac was under MK Ultra mind control JANUS programming. The elites set Tupac up with a bogus rape charge so they can put Tupac in jail to reprogram him. What did the elites program Tupac to do? They programmed Tupac to overwork, basically work around the clock recording music in the studio. After they assassinated Tupac, they sold Tupac's music and made millions from it. Tupac was programmed and manipulated into creating the staged East Coast versus West Coast rap war. The media that the elites own played a vital hand in this fiasco as well. If you are aware of the Black Panther Party history, the same was done with the East Coast and West Coast chapters of the party. COINTELPRO set them against each other. CIA ops who infiltrated the Black Panther Party since the beginning of its inception contributed to this madness as well. The powers that should not be put Tupac and Biggie, who are kindred spirits, against each other on purpose. They set up a cover story to assassinate Tupac and later Biggie. They have tricked the public for almost 22 years and blamed it on gang-related violence. All of the bloodshed done after Tupac's and Biggie's deaths were carried out and orchestrated by them. A lot of blood sacrifices were made for Lucifer by the powers that should not be. They hired black psyops to do their dirty work. Tupac was programmed to accept Suge Knight as his new handler. Tupac had other handlers at Death Row Records as well. George Papa G. Price was also a handler. Suge Knight was Tupac's main handler and direct contact. This is why we see photos of Suge Knight and Tupac all the time. Study the photos. Some of them are creepy. Suge Knight is sometimes standing right behind Pac, watching his every move. Another example of this is Diddy with Biggie Smalls. Almost every photograph, Diddy is with Biggie. He is almost always standing behind Biggie or in close proximity to Biggie. This is because Diddy was his handler. Biggie was also under MK Ultra mind control, JANUS programming. Tupac and Biggie were also under twinning mind control programming as well. What is a handler? A handler is put into place to control and trigger a person who is under MK Ultra mind control. A handler reinforces programming, and they can trigger the mind control victim to do whatever they desire. Remember, mind control programming is slick, complex, sophisticated, and undetectable. They use jewelry, clothes, and hand signals to reinforce programming. Eye contact and code words are used as well. For example, when you read about your favorite celebrity having an entourage, it sounds cool, it sounds sexy. All of these people are coming to the aid of one celebrity, one person. Stylists, makeup artists, assistants, bodyguards, publicists, agents, etc. have to take care of them. This could be further from the truth. These people are handlers and watchers in disguise. The positions that they hold in public are cover jobs. This is why celebrities are kept away from us normal people. Celebrities are made exclusive because the majority of them are under MK Ultra mind control. Tupac broke programming a lot. Tupac did not like being told what to do, and he hated the fact that he could not live amongst black people, his people. Tupac wanted the best of both worlds. He didn't mind the finer things in life, but he wanted to live with black people and share the wealth. This is another reason why we love Pac. He was very generous and he had a big heart. The Heavenly Father judges what is in our hearts. Before Tupac was released from jail in October 1995, Suge Knight supposedly had a meeting with Tupac. Suge made a deal with Tupac. Tupac was to join Death Row Records and give him 3 albums. In return, Suge Knight would bail Tupac out of jail for what I believe was $1.4 million. Well, ladies and gents, this was a cover story. It was also reported that a contract was written on a napkin as well. Sounds like stuff made for movies, right? Suge Knight bailing Tupac out of jail was also staged to humor Tupac as well. The real story is this. The elites were ready to release Tupac from jail. Remember, they hated They hated and were afraid of Tupac. The elites could not kill him in jail. Lord knows they did not want to do a Rodney King riot repeat. Believe me, if Tupac had been killed in jail, riots that they did not control would have set off. The reason why I say riots that they did not control, because most riots are staged and orchestrated by the elites. It's called controlled opposition. Problem, reaction, solution. The elites create the problem. We, the people, react, and the elites create the solution. The elites wanted to put Pac in a familiar environment, a recording studio, so he can do his music and set him up later. Tupac's final destination was Death Row Records. Death Row Records was waiting for Tupac. As soon as Tupac was released from jail, he was ready to record music. Why? Because Tupac was programmed to do this. I will say this again. The elites reprogrammed Tupac in jail to overwork and record as much music as he could so the record executives could make millions off of Tupac after he was assassinated. Who benefited from Tupac's hard work? Miss Afeni Shakur was promised riches after Tupac's death. The story about Miss Afeni taking Suge Knight to court to obtain the rights and masters to Tupac's music was another cover story. This was done to give Miss Afeni street cred. Miss Afeni and Suge Knight worked together behind closed doors. Of course, the executives from Interscope Records benefited from Tupac's music as well. They are still making money off of Tupac's music, image, and legacy as they mock him in the media with the salacious shows and dirty documentaries about Tupac. After Miss Afeni began to get monies from Tupac's music after his death, she began to feel some heavy guilt for what she had done. She sold Tupac out. This is why she began to become very protective of Tupac's image. Of course, I feel that the next of kin or family members should benefit financially if money can be made. Why not? But it's how Miss Afeni got it that's troublesome. After the elites succeeded at assassinating Tupac, the elites did not need Death Row Records any longer. I will let you in on a little secret. Death Row Records was created just for Pac. They were not ready for him yet. Unbeknownst to Pac, this is why he was given special treatment and special privileges at the recording studio. Pac got to work with all the producers and engineers, and his music was made top priority. This made a lot of Tupac's label mates jealous. Of course they would be jealous, but it was not his fault. This is how the elites and the suits that ordered Suge Knight around in secret wanted it. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gents. Suge Knight did not own Death Row Records. Death Row was a subsidiary of Interscope Records. It was under the ownership of the real assholes who work for the Queen: Ted Field, Jimmy Iovine, and Tom Wiley. These three are big warlocks in the music industry, and they helped to set up Tupac's murder assassination. Suge Knight was put into place to pretty much run Death Row Records as a plantation overseer. Suge would work the artists, including Tupac, and not pay them. Suge had to make sure the suits got paid first. As long as the suits got paid, Suge Knight could do whatever he wanted, and he did. For the record, Suge Knight did not participate in the death ritual made upon Tupac. The elites saw it as a conflict of interest. Even though Suge Knight was his handler, the elites knew that Suge had mad brotherly love for Tupac. Suge secretly admired Tupac and looked up to him. Suge Knight was evil though. Suge would trigger Tupac to do heinous acts with him. Sometimes Tupac would join in, and sometimes Tupac would look on. I am not going to discuss some of the crazy stuff Suge Knight would trigger Tupac Shakur to do. Some things are better left unsaid. Suge Knight did many evil deeds for the elites so he could continue to run Death Row Records and get his payola. Payola could be luxury cars, Cuban cigars, dirty paper, female sex slaves at his disposal, jewelry, fancy homes, magazine covers, and basically anything Suge wanted. Now Mr. Suge Knight regrets it. The elite set him up because he wanted to be his own man.